Hey, what is going on, guys? It's the SS Ultimate Goku back with another video, and today I'm going to be talking about Zoids. Hey, what is Wild? That's right, Zoids Wild is on Netflix, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't heard the news, Zoids is back. I wish they would bring back the old Zoids, but this is looking promising with this new Zoids coming out. You know what I mean there. So the English dub is being done by Ocean Studios in Vancouver, Canada. I'm happy that Hasbro, who are the license holder, are doing it in Canada because that's where Viz Media did all the Zoid dubs there. That's where all the dubs were done way back when. You're gonna probably get to see voice actors you haven't really heard that much from, but I could tell you from looking up, there are gonna be some familiar faces that you will know. There are some new guys in there, some new voice actors in there that are brand new, but they got some classic guys in there. They got I was looking at, there's gonna be a character that's gonna be voiced by Sam Vincent, who he voiced Brad Hunter in Zoid New Century way back when in the 2000s, as well as Sebastian and Dark, the Dark Judge. He voiced those guys. To my understanding, he's the only one at this time that is back from the original projects. I know Brian Drummett voiced a character in, I believe it was New Century. I don't remember if it was Chaotic Century or not, but I know he voiced a character. I just don't remember what it was. So as of right now, I didn't see anything from Brian Drummett. What else? So another thing is they got going here is the where is it? Oh, sorry. What the? They got Arashi, who is the main character of the dub. He is going to be in this as well. Well, I mean, Arashi is the main character. So Arashi is the main character of the show, but he hasn't had his name localized. There are some characters that get their names localized, to my understanding, but the main character's name will stay in this, which I thought was kind of interesting. So far it seems pretty good. One of the things I don't like right now about the new Zoids is that they don't have the cat pods anymore on the Zoids. Like, you have that orange, like, window thing that closes, that covers up, the people from getting attacked. Now they can literally get attacked, like, because there's, like, no protection. There's, like, nothing protecting them anymore. Like, they're literally just sitting down, and, like, they're literally, like, in broad daylight outside with the Zoids. This plot is going for the Zoids being more one with the humans, rather than the Zoids just being machines, like they are in past ones, and the pilots were just the ones that were controlling it. Like in Chaotic Century, they would, in Chaotic Century, it was more of they were just machines, and the Zoids and the people just kind of controlled them, unless you had like an organoid like Zeke, who just like then took control of the Zoid and had a mind of his own. Then they're not going for this anymore. They have the Liger with Arashi, as the main pilot, which is quite interesting because in New Century, which is the sequel to Chaotic Century, even though in North America New Century aired on television before Chaotic Century aired first, not so that other people can get confused, but yes, New Century actually was the sequel, and Chaotic Century was the first Zoids. But in North America, they flipped it for some reason. I can't fault them for that, because they did do that to Dragon Ball Z, which ended up being the right decision. But nonetheless, so in New Century, they had the Liger, and the Liger kind of had more of a mind of his own, like this dude is, like Arashi's Liger has. Now, in New Century, there was only one Liger, and there was only stated to be one Liger. And now they have another Liger in this new series. Obviously, this is century, or I'm sure this is like either centuries or maybe like, you know, decades after the events of New Century. But I'm wondering if that's the Liger. You know what I mean there? I wonder if that's the Liger from the past. You know, I really hope they do some references from the old Zoids, because that'd be really cool if they could do that. So we would know, like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Like, I would love for them to reference Van Flyheit, you know, because Van Flyheit is the one that kind of makes the government the way it is. Because obviously, in Chaotic Century, there was, like, you know, war going on in Planet Z. Planet Z, yes. There was a war going on, and you know, they had it be down to peace. And then, of course, in New Century, all the Zoids are used for games, you know, the game events, that's what New Century basically is. It's a contest to see who the best team is. So, it's a little different perspective, since it seems like this one they're trying to find like a treasure to basically conquer the world, but at the same time, they're really not. But then the villains are. The villains look like goofballs, by the way. But we'll see where that goes. We haven't seen the captain of the leader of this evil organization that's like trying to capture the Liger, basically. Now, Arashi kind of has a similar personality to Van Flyheit when he first started out, which I think is kind of interesting that they kind of went with the same beginning origins character with Van Flyheit. Arashi is basically, you know, a meddling type kid that wants a Zoid so badly, and then finally gets it in the first episode. That's exactly what happened to Van Flyheit. So Arashi does seem kind of very, very similar to Van. Like they didn't seem to go with an original personality type character. There is no female companion, at least at this time there isn't. I've only watched 2 episodes though, so that could change. But Fiona came right away, so yeah. Also, it is another tragedy type story where in Van Flyheight's case, you know, he lost, you know, his parents, where in this one, they don't know what happened to the father, which is the only person we don't know so far. They have never mentioned his mother yet. So Arashi definitely has a very similarity personality setup to Van, which I'm very wondering why they just kind of went with that. You know, instead of kind of going with more of an original personality for this character, but that's what they kind of went with for him. Maybe it will change, and it will go in a different direction. Now, they never actually say that his father dies in this, like they do really with Van's family. You know, because Van's guardian was his older sister when the event started. So I don't know, but I am liking the action that's going on. I like that they got the rage thing going on their eyes or whatever. They got like some they got like some little powerful thing like attaching with their eyes, like when they power up with the Zoid or whatever. But I don't like that they don't have cap pods, because it's like, you can easily get shot, like, while you're on the Zoid, right? I mean, that was kind of the whole point with like the guns and shit like that, like when they would shoot each other with the lasers and stuff. So that they kind of making it a little more kiddish. Then again, Zoids is a kiddish show, even in Japan standards. It was always meant to be a kid show. So maybe they're doing this because this is how modern international audiences like things. They want to tone things down and not be as violent, and so that might be the reason why they're doing this. There probably will be less guns involved. I mean, since this is supposed to be a kid show, even in Japan standards, it's a kid show. So that might be the reason. I mean, that's why Hasbro got the show to begin with, and none of these other shows got it. People wonder, well, why did Hasbro get it? Hasbro got the license because the show was being marketed to kids. That's the reason why the Japanese company gave it to them. It had nothing to do with Funimation or any of these other companies that license stuff out. One, I don't think any of the licensed companies like Funimation or Viz Media would have been interested in it, because they seem to be going for more mature contents now. Even Viz Media. Viz Media used to go for kids stuff back in the day. But it doesn't seem like they're interested in that type of stuff anymore. And they still did do mature stuff, but I don't think Viz Media has really pulled off that many, kiddish localization type stuff as of late. I think the last one they did was Zatch Bell. And they don't even have the license to it anymore, because it never finished its frickin' run. But you get the point. So, that's why Hasbro got the show. But I am glad that they gave it to Ocean Studios. That actually surprised me. That caught me off guard, because I thought for sure that was going to be dubbed by LA. I thought for sure the Zoids was going to be dubbed by LA, because the studio that the All States Incorporated, which are the company that is the studio that does dubs or does any type of cartoon type show for Hasbro. I had to research this because obviously I have no interest in trying to look up Hasbro, but obviously I have to now. They're the ones that takes care of the cartoons and stuff like that they do for Hasbro Incorporated. They're the studio. They're like an underling studio, and they do the dubs if they have any. This is like one of the few ones that they have. But since they are more of a cartoon studio, might be why they outsourced it to Ocean Studio. Ocean Studio does a lot of outsourcing, so it makes sense. And they probably figured, because Canada has done most of these dubs in the past when it comes to Zoids, that's probably why they did it, so people would be more familiar with it when it came out. Obviously, they're trying to target kids, so kids probably won't even remember the old Zoids, but families that grew up with Zoids that are going to show this to their kids, because they're going to think, oh, well, I remember Zoids. I'll show my kid this. So that's probably why they decided to give it to Canada. That's just my personal theory. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the only thing I can think of. So I'm just going with it. But yeah, so the show is on Netflix. It's not a Netflix original, even if Netflix advertises it that way. Because Netflix has been doing a lot of that, where they're advertising stuff that they really aren't involved with in the dub. And then they claim it's original, even though it isn't. They just have the streaming rights for it. They don't actually have the dubbing rights for it. So there is a lot of, mistaken identity by Netflix, in a lot of their content as of late. There's a lot of contents that they're showing where it's not really actually their original product, but they're calling it a Netflix original because, like, they have the streaming rights to it. They're doing that with Pokemon, too. They weren't involved in the dubbing process. They never have been. They never were in it for 20 years. Everyone knows that. But because they have the streaming rights to it, they think that they can call it an original when it's really not. You know, because, you know, to me, a Netflix original is them dubbing it, okay? Just because you show it on your streaming service does not mean it's a Netflix original. Just because it's being shown on Hulu does not mean it is a Hulu original. Like, if you guys did not directly dub it, then no, it was not a Netflix original. I know some people are going to argue that in the comment section, but no, that is not how I look at it. So, yeah, that's my take on that whole, you know, original thing. But, yeah, so far I've watched 2 episodes of it. I'm liking it so far. There's some, like I said, the whole cat pod thing I'm not a fan of, that they got rid of the cat pod for the Zoids with the orange, you know, the orange, like, freaking, you know, cap that closes people in so they can't get, like, attacked by anybody. I feel like someone's just gonna, like, in blunt range. Like, that wouldn't happen because it's a kid's show. But, I mean, it can, though. It won't happen because it's a kid's show. But it can happen because they're exposed. They're, like, exposed. They're, like, outside. They got nothing protecting them from getting shot at or anything. You know, it's like, what the frick? But yeah, go check it out, guys. I recommend watching Zoids. Big fan of Zoids, and I want Zoids to succeed. And hopefully, if this does succeed, maybe we will get some of the old Zoids back. I really would love them to bring back Zoids Chaotic Century and Zoids New Century. I think they deserve some love for some of the generation that has not seen them. Zoids kind of has taken a back seat because it's been lost for so many years, being out of print. And I would love to see Zoids make a comeback, especially in the English market. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, rate. If you like my videos, please subscribe. I do have my Patreon, as well as my Discord link chat in the description for y'all to chat with me in the server. That's about it. I'm out of here. I'm the Ultimate Goku. I'm out of here. Peace!